Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. So the rupee is crashing, the Sensex is crashing, sentiment is crashing, growth rates are coming down. Perhaps the only thing that isn't crashing are prices. Is this the end of the India story? The great India economic story that India is about to be a massive economic superpower? Is that starting to fray a little bit at the edges thanks to all the log jams that we are seeing? And if so, who is to blame for that? That's the subject of The Big Fight today. And I'd like to welcome our guest, Gurcharan Das, a well-known author and also a former CEO at Procter & Gamble. Great to have you with us. Manish Tiwari, Lok Sabha MP and a spokesperson of the Congress Party, who will no doubt argue that the person responsible for all of this is the man standing next to him, which is Prakash Javadekar of the BJP. We have James Fontanella Khan, correspondent with the Financial Times, and you no doubt will tell us what the rest of the world makes of all that's happening out here. Although I have to say, the rest of the world has its own problems to be dealing with, I have to say right now. And Professor B.B. Bhattacharya, it's great to have you with us, former Vice-Chancellor of the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Let me just ask you first, Gurcharan Das. You were one of the first people who really started to talk about India rising and India shining and India unbound, I think is what you called it. Is it all falling apart a bit at the seams right now, or is that too alarmist?
No, I think it's too alarmist. The fundamentals of the economy are so strong that we will return back to a proper growth rate. What is disappointing really is that at this point in time, this is our moment in history when we should have been moving from 8 to 9%, instead of going back from 8 to 7, and now maybe even lower.
But are there structural, are there genuine economic reasons for that, or is it the fault of the gentleman standing to your left, both of them?
Well,
the government and the opposition.
Yeah, well, I think they are definitely responsible. I mean, the two parties, and certainly the Congress Party being the primary one.
Because they're in government at the end of the day. It's their job to get the economy running.
It's their government at the end of the day, and they actually harvested some of the reforms that were done in the previous government.
I don't want to come back to some of the specifics of what's happening in just a minute or two. I just want to get them to respond first to the first point you said. So, Manish, let's look at it this way. You've been running now the government, and the UP has been in power for a long, long time. And at the end of the day, there is a perception of complete and total paralysis. You come up with executive decisions in the middle of a parliament session, which you didn't need to, and then you have to backtrack on that. All reform measures that you should have been taken under the leadership of a prime minister who was a father of reforms all seem to be on the pause, or the rewind button is being stepped. How have things gone so wrong for you?
Well, first of all, I think, Vikram, I need to disabuse you of this notion that, everything is as if paralyzed. Let's understand.
What's not paralyzed, other than the rupee, which is falling, and the share market, which is falling? Other than that, what's not paralyzed?
Well, in the sense, if you want to turn this into a monologue, you can be my guest. But if you give me a chance to explain,
I'm going to give you the chance.
If you want to give me a chance to explain, I will. See, undoubtedly, there have been tough years for the world economy, especially 2008 to 2011. And you're looking at a very serious crisis in Europe as we speak. There has obviously been a blowback on the Indian economy, but the fact remains that we've been able to insulate ourselves. We've still had, an 8.5% rate of growth in the first 4 years, about a 7% in the remaining 3 between 2008 and 2011. And I don't think that is really bad if you compare it with the rest of the world. So therefore, rather than being the prophet of doom, let's look at the brighter side of it. And when you talk of a policy paralysis, and you say that an executive decision was halted in midstream or shouldn't have been brought in Parliament, there is a shining light to it also. And the shining light is that you have 100% FDI in single brand retail. So it is not that measures are not going through. But yes, there is a certain politics to it. And you need to get your coalition partners on board. And at times, they do not come from the same reality as they do. They have their own appreciation of reality.
The responsibility of the coalition partners. First of all, I want to ask you, Prakash Javadekar, how serious do you think the situation is right now?
This situation, I will go with Gurcharan Das ji. This could have been our movement, because the way Europe is facing the crisis, the way US is sluggish, we could have made more progress in this period. The issue is we are faltering in decision making. I always feel sometimes that Manmohan Singh as finance minister under Narasimha Rao was more effective than Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister under Sonia Gandhi.
But you know,
so
I have
that's
to just
because
say-
that shows the complete paralysis
may
and
well-
separation of power and power center and office.
That may well be
that
the
is
case.
the real cause of today's paralysis, which not opposition, but the all industries.
But
See,
you're doing your bit
the
for it. Prakash
no,
Javadekar, can I interrupt you? But you're
One
doing
minute.
your bit too. You
Indian-
don't allow
no, no.
Parliament to function day after day after day
This
after
is wrong
day.
notion. We are functioning.
How is it not a wrong
Yesterday we debated 5 hours agrarian crisis. It was the wonderful of the debate. The Lok Sabha debated the black money issue. It was a very good debate. So
Then you blocked it for a number of reasons.
That is
Party
the first hour. You leave it there. What is happening the full day? We are sitting full day and discussing. So that is what is important for the nation.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.